Going live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Galactic Nerd Outpost. I'm your host, Joey McGee, aka the one and only Daikaiji Spacezilla. Joining me today is Trev Tom, formerly known as Trevor Thomson.
Hello, everybody. This is my first little jaunt on StreamYard, so I'm happy to be here.
And Forgotten Pharaoh, who joined me for the other streams on this channel.
Hello, everyone. Good to see y'all again. Trevor, lovely to have you around. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, man.
Essentially today, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer and give our thoughts on it and some ideas and theories that we may have. But first, what we're going to do is take a look at it, which I'm sure we all seen the trailer when it first came out, but we're going to take a look at it again to give a more better take. And so that being said, let's have a look.
Always love that theme.
Oh, look at this. This is a good one. Some suggest that Parker's powers include the male spider's ability to hypnotize females.
Stop, come on. Yes, my spider. Can we just stay up here all day? It is so crazy down there.
That's right, folks. Spider-Man is in fact.
Oh my god. Man,
I did not kill Mysterio. The drones did.
1 minute. 1 minute. I just gotta say, the fact that J.K. Simmons is back as J. Jonah Jameson, like, I seen this trailer before. I seen the last fucking Spider-Man movie he was in, and still seeing it again just makes me so happy. Him and the guy who played him in the 90s show, who unfortunately recently passed away, may he rest in peace, we're born to play J. Jonah Jameson. And seeing him back here,
it's wonderful. It's so good seeing it.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, the actor who just passed away, who did the voice on the animated series, is Ed Asner.
Yeah, Ed Asner. Him and J.K. Simmons are the only ones that I could see playing J. Jonah Jameson. They sound the part, and for J.K. Simmons' case, he looks the part. And they both gave performances that just made the character. So seeing him back, man.
Hey, can I point something out real quick?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, so I don't know how long it's been since either of y'all have seen the movie Avatar, but this guy has also popped up in other things. Stephen Lang, he was the military villain in that movie. He would also, I think he might give it a good shot. But that's probably like a what if. But I completely concur that it's either J.K. Simmons or Asner, really.
Yeah, I seen Avatar. I used to love that movie as a kid. I actually own a collector's edition DVD set. Haven't seen it in years. I had it for Christmas when I was a kid because I loved the movie that much. Gonna have to rewatch at some point because I remember really liking that movie. And yeah, I'd say he could play the part. But the actors that could do Jameson best, J.K. Simmons and Ed Asner, his name?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. Those are the actors that were born to play him, but that guy could do a great job. Just like the guy in the Spider-Man PS4 game. He does a great job as J. Jonah Jameson, but the two guys that are perfect as the role, J.K. Simmons and Ed Asner. Okay, let's get back.
The drones that are yours.
Does any part of you feel even about all this?
What do you mean?
Now that everybody knows you don't really have to hide or lie to people.
For the record, I never wanted to lie to you. But how do you tell someone that you're Spider-Man? Now everybody knows. But this isn't about me. This is hurting a lot of people. I've just been thinking about how to fix all of this.
So, Peter, why do I owe the pleasure?
I'm sorry to bother you, sir.
Please, safe to have the universe together. I think we're beyond you calling me sir.
Okay, Steven.
That feels weird, but I'll allow it.
When Mysterio revealed my identity, my entire life got screwed up. I was wondering if maybe you could make it so that he never did.
Strange. Don't cast that spell. It's too dangerous. Fine. I won't. The entire world is about to forget that Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Wait, everyone? Can't some people still know?
That's not how the spell works.
So MJ's gonna forget about everything we've ever been through?
Stop tampering with the spell.
Oh my god, Ned, he's my best friend. I am basically done talking. What just happened?
We tap into the stability of space-time. Multiverse is a concept about which we know frighteningly little.
Okay, gotta take a pause again. I'd like to say a little theory I have here. When he tampered with the spell, which take this with a grain of salt, because this is just a theory. Nothing is confirmed, and it's a may or may not situation. But I think what this might be doing here is it might be kind of a little way to connect it to that Spider-Verse movie. Especially since on the after credit, as on one of the Spider-Verse films, it showed in another universe, or was that Venom? It was either Venom's after credit or Spider-Man's Into the Spider-Verse, where it said in another universe, and it showed either Miles or, well, Venom. Which one was it, Trevor?
Neither.
Yeah, it was the end. It was the end of Venom whenever they did that. Because the end credit for Into the Spider-Verse was setting up Spider-Man 2099.
I thought it was setting up Spider-Gwen. Like more of her.
Yeah. I would actually love to see a live-action Spider-Gwen.
Yeah, I think what this might be doing is kind of connecting the Into the Spider-Verse animated movies with this. By bringing in, by using the spell that started the whole Spider-Verse thing, getting Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, their villains, and what, Trevor?
Oh, no, I was just going to say, actually, I don't know if y'all know this, but this whole little bit with Doctor Strange is actually supposed to be based on One More Day, the arc from the comic books.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, and also the multiverse stuff, they didn't really do a whole lot with it in WandaVision. They were kind of stepping in that direction, but Loki, which I haven't seen yet, but I've heard spoilers. I'm not going to spoil too much. I'm just going to say they get into what sets up this whole multiverse event. And
you've heard the Doctor Strange release. Doctor Strange's movie title is Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. We know the multiverse is involved in these movies. Marvel spoiled it for themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Like, I think what this is doing here is, like, considering with the build-up to Venom having Into the Spider-Verse on the after credit, I think this might be a way to connect these movies with Into the Spider-Verse, Venom. And this might even be their way of getting Venom into a Spider-Man movie later, which personally would not surprise me. Maybe it's just a little optimism on my part, but...
One thing that is bothering me, that one line of, wait, what if, like my best friend has to know, my Aunt May has to know, MJ has to know. I'm like, all right, so let me finish the spell and then tell them afterwards.
I know.
Preventing you from doing that, but I
know.
Movie has to movie.
Well, yeah. Now go ahead, Joey. Go ahead.
I was just thinking that myself while watching it, because this could have all been prevented if he would have just kept his mouth shut and told them. Granted, I do see it to some extent, like he had memories with them as the webhead, so that I do kind of get, because they're gonna forget those memories. But at the same time, was it worth causing this disaster?
The thing is, we don't know how the spell is gonna completely malfunction. We don't know. Like, magic is very, very magic is very difficult to deal with, and it has a lot of downsides to it. it always has a price to it. Where, okay, say everyone forgets Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Does that mean Happy forgets who Peter Parker is? Because that's kind of why Happy was always with him, because Iron Man knew who Spider-Man was, so Happy was always tied to him. Does everything happen with Endgame, and does Doctor Strange forget at that point? Because Doctor Strange knows who he is. So when they mess with the multiverse, well, Doctor Strange be like, who the hell are you and why do you know me? Because you shouldn't know me. But
exactly. So we're not really sure how all this works. All we could really do is form theories and such.
To me, it just sounds in character for Tom Holland Spider-Man. I'm not trying to throw shade. He's done this before, so you know.
Oh, I agree.
That is Spider-Man. Spider-Man talks constantly.
Yeah,
he's young. Yeah, when it comes to Tom Holland Spider-Man, it does kind of help with the fact that he's young and dumb. So I do get that.
Comics representation wise, that is Spider-Man to a T. He will always be thinking, oh wait, what about this, and that. Like, Spider-Man has always had terrible communication skills. Every time in all of his series, he's like, I should tell someone this, but I won't because I don't want to bother them. And then he has to relearn that same lesson of, I should have said something sooner. And then the next issue, he immediately backtracks on that, saying, I can't tell them, otherwise it'll cause an issue. And then it repeats over and over.
Yeah.
Peter's gonna Peter.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It's you trying to live two different lives. The longer you do it, the more dangerous it becomes.
Okay, that thing in the background, there's a thing that has this little roar that goes on that's kind of reminiscent to Venom.
Mm-hmm.
Which wouldn't surprise me if this gets Venom in there.
But
that's another reason.
Venom doesn't have anything against Spider-Man. By all means,
I know, but
interesting, but there's no real conflict between them. So, there's no real dynamic between them. There'd be no, unless they go with an animated series version. The Venom we know of right now has nothing against Spider-Man, whatsoever.
Oh, I know. He might not even
with Carnage. Oh, you're the red one. It's then we're spoiling ahead with Carnage, which isn't supposed to tie together, I think.
Which, when it comes to, but maybe he's not even Spider-Man's enemy here if he is in it. Just, he kind of made that Venom-like sound, and you could tell that there's this monster-like thing in the background, which may be Sandman from Spider-Man 3, but that roar sounded similar to Venom. Shit, hell, no, maybe it might even be Venom from... Maybe it might even...
The only thing, what we know confirmed is, yes, Alfred Molina Doc Ock's in it. Yes, Jamie Foxx Electro is going to be in it. In this trailer, we see hints that Green Goblin's going to be in it. If it's Willem Dafoe or not, nothing's confirmed. Just, we know that old villains are going to be in it. We don't know if it's going to be any part of, maybe they'll be the threat of it. When it seems like this is more of a Peter Parker messing with reality, or I want to change something, and now this is the consequence of my wanting to change it.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that it is Willem Dafoe's Goblin, though, because someone said to us spot him on set, and he claims that he didn't, but that was probably just for business reasons. You had his pumpkin bomb, and that was the Goblin's laugh from the 2000s movie, which is why when I see that one thing, I get excited because whatever.
Nostalgia.
I know, because that is my Green Goblin. I love that stupid Toku look of his. I love his laugh. He was the best Goblin. No other Goblin has compared to him. I don't care what it is.
Spectacular Spider-Man kind of differs for me, but that's me.
Oh, dude.
It always
Lock the plank, Pharaoh.
Spectacular Spider-Man is a phenomenal show, and it got unjustly canceled.
Yeah. No, it always bugs me whenever people make fun of that look for the Goblin in the first Spider-Man movie, because, I'm a Sentai and Power Rangers fan, so I don't see that as an insult.
I know! You know me as a massive Toku fan, so that design's up my alley.
It's okay. The Goblin had more
They could be
charisma
better.
in his costume, and that one just felt like, all right, yeah, it's a flight suit. It's simple, it's basic, but it didn't really radiate a Goblin-like look. The only thing Goblin about it was just the mask. Where it's like, I could have gone for a little bit more going into it. Having a cowl or some sort of cape might have been a bit much, but something more, like maybe a little more color going into it. Or maybe something that shows how he's getting the pumpkin bombs out of his glider. Or maybe the fact that he's carrying them in a bag or a satchel, like he does with his bag of tricks. We're like, no, he's pulling grenades out of behind me.
And this is why you're gonna walk the plank.
I ascend above all of you. My crimes are only for Amut to judge.
Yeah.
So sorry, Joey, can I give my 2 cents on the whole Venom thing?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, so I've actually seen a video or 1 or 2 out there where if you brighten up the screen enough, it actually looks like the lizard from the Amazing Spider-Man.
I have heard of that online.
He has the same silhouette.
Somewhere.
That could be.
So really, actually, no, I'm going to save this till the end of the trailer because this is just my overall thoughts on how I'm feeling with this movie and what it's doing for the franchise. But yeah, I'm going to save this bit. So yeah, we can go ahead.
One more thing I want to say about the Green Goblin, though, of William Dafoe's. As you know, Trevor, I'm a massive Toku nerd. I love Godzilla, Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, Gado, and all the other things. I know I said stupid jokingly earlier, but, you know, that's not where I stand. As me personally, I love the Toku look. I've always felt that Toku heroes and Toku villains been awesome. And I think when they made... I think that might have been the intention when they made the design, was making a Green Goblin, but they might have been taking some inspiration from Toku stuff. Even when he talks, the words come out like a Toku villain.
He comes out like a cartoon villain, I'll be honest.
And you're gonna walk the plank. I'm gonna keep saying that. You're gonna walk the plank.
What the plank? We're not on a pirate ship.
Yes, we are, and you're gonna suffer for your crimes.
I'm a god king. I'm higher than captain.
But yeah, I love the Green Goblin. I know many people might prefer Ock as Dr. Octopus in a second movie. I think he's considered the best Spider-Man villain in those movies, isn't he? Me personally, I'm torn between those two. Like, I love Ock, but I also love the Goblin. And I do think that...
Go ahead.
I do think that is Dafoe's Goblin that is going to be featured in this movie because it had his laugh, had his bomb, and we already got Ock in the movie from that film. So I'm almost certain that's what we're getting, and I'm excited. Nostalgic, and even if I didn't grow up with that film, I just love that Goblin by design, personality, and all.
By all means, yes, Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin was a treasure to behold. Growing up with those movies, it got me into reading actual Spider-Man comics, which is where I realized, wow, Green Goblin is way scarier and cooler in the comics than in the movie. But I still loved how the Goblin was, his personality. It was fun. He was menacing, but at the same time, like silly and cartoony. Like, this is what I feel like a comic book movie is, and I really enjoyed that. I loved his glider. It looked really cool to me. Like, the comic book glider is interesting, but the amount of details on the movie glider was so fascinating that when the movie came out, I asked my parents for a Spider-Man figure and a Green Goblin with the glider, specifically with that glider, because it was so cool, and I still have it now.
Man, I remember when those toys were out because when I was a kid, me and my brothers got the Spider-Man and that Goblin. Man, I can't believe that was over 10 fucking years ago. Almost 20 years ago because I was a little kid.
Life happens.
It's insane. Those are good memories.
Yeah, but I don't like that with Ock being kind of... Like, I mean, I love Dafoe Goblin for what he was. Ock had a much more emotional, weighted character going to him because he wasn't true evil. He had a purpose. He was a man obsessed with a dream, a lifelong goal he had. And so many people would do whatever they could to fulfill that lifelong goal. And it is a painful message then and now of how far would you go to complete your dream and realizing your dream can't come true. For the betterment of everybody, you can't do this. And you can see him, like, his hurt on his face. I'm like, you're right. Like, this isn't right, and I have to end my dream. I have to end the thing that I've wanted my entire life.
Yeah, but there's also some emotional to Defoe as the Goblin. Like, for example, he didn't get enough time spent with his. He didn't get enough time spent with his son, and he pretty much kind of favored Peter until eventually he ended up taking this one stuff that pretty much fucked up his mind, and he was still. He was still sympathetic in that regard. And when he died, he even said, "Don't tell Harry." And we did get some emotional depth.
Sympathetic. That's being a terrible dad from the get-go. Like,
I'm gonna agree.
You treated your son terribly from the start. You treated his best friend better because he was essentially intellectually superior than his own son. That you treated him better, and when the Goblin formula enhanced that, so he started treating him with more disdain over time, and in the end his final job was, don't tell Harry what happened, essentially making sure I never get redemption from my son, and my son always believes me to be this better person that I never was.
I do get that, but at the same time, he did not want Harry to be disappointed, because Harry did love his father, and I'm pretty sure.
And from a mental health standpoint, Harry could have gotten so much better closure, realizing if Spider-Man said, your father did something, your father made a mistake, turned into a villain, and ended up killing himself afterwards. I'm sorry, I did not actively kill him. Communication is key to that. But obviously, yeah, you need that tension for the next movies for Harry to become New Goblin. But if you were told about those things, then maybe Harry could have prevented going down that evil route. Maybe he could have found the Goblin stuff himself and worked on it better. And there could have been that tension of that, where it's like, hey, I want to fix the Goblin formula so I can help you with the city, because I have all this Goblin gear that I could use. And Peter could be like, no, it's too dangerous to use that. And there could be that rift between them, where Harry could be like, no, I can be a hero too. And then they end up doing a bunch of things together. But
true.
I'm gonna have to be in Pharaoh's corner here a little bit, because really with the Osborns, you're more sympathetic with Harry than you are Norman. I mean, yes, Joey made a good point about whenever he kills himself with his own glider. That is a tragic moment, but you definitely feel more for Harry in those movies in terms of that dynamic. And comparing Ock and the Goblin, I don't think Ock actually outright murdered anybody. I mean, maybe somebody might have got killed from like a car being flung or something, but one of them is a psychopathic murder, and the other one is just obsessive towards their one goal.
Yeah, like Ock at most might have injured somebody and might have accidentally killed one or two people. And yeah, he threatened all those people on the train, but he knew Spider-Man was going to save them. He thought ahead, realizing, I can't kill you guys. I just need to wear him down so I can capture him.
Yeah, but when it comes to those two, I think Ock and Harry are great. Ock and Norman are great for their own reasons. They both have. Also,
one other thing, Ock also had that inhibitor chip broken, so he wasn't in his real right mind. Those tentacles were controlling him at the time. So when at the end of the movie, he was saying, listen to me now, there was that struggle mentally until he actually gained control. And you saw those tentacles actually move down to him and actually respect to what he was saying. Like, he was not rightfully in control of himself.
In all fairness, Norman wasn't all there either, because that stuff that he took as a mistake fucked up his mind.
True. That's true, though. But really, I think Pharaoh actually mentioned this. The Goblin Serum actually enhanced kind of what was already there. Yeah. So Norman was fighting against it, but he didn't really resist it that much either. So the Goblin Serum pretty much manipulated him, and he ended up going into it. He's not as sympathetic as Ock, but I really don't think he needs to be. It's still there. But overall, when it comes to his when it comes to his character, what generally makes the Goblin so awesome is he's interesting and he's fun, and he also helps set the goal for Harry.
Fair enough. I guess I'm just relating to the comics because I've just read so many, and based on the movies, Norman Osborn is essentially a ruthless businessman. He knows what he wants. He goes after it with painful, ruthless efficiency, and he will do whatever it takes to achieve his goal, no matter who he kind of steps on over it. That's how he got Oscorp. And when he started realizing he was being kicked out of when he was being pushed out, he did something to make sure I'm going to take back my company from people trying to keep it from me. So I'm pretty sure, gas or not, he was going to attack those board members. He lost all sense of sympathy throughout the entire movie until the very, very end, when it's like, wow, like in his own raid to kill somebody, he ended up killing himself. Like, that sucks for you, but you were a bad guy start to finish.
That is true.
Well, and furthermore, it's often said that Spidey has 3 arch enemies, Green Goblin, Doc Ock, and Venom. Yep. But with Norman, compared to Otto and Eddie, the other 2, they actually end up being anti-heroes, or even with Ock, he actually becomes Spider-Man in the Superior Spider-Man, correct?
Good run. Fun series.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my point is that really the Goblin is and always has been the main arch enemy. So he's always going to be the one that has more edge, I guess you could say. He doesn't become an anti-hero or, actually become Spider-Man like Otto does. So, he's that he's the Joker to Spider-Man's Batman, which, people have said that before, but it's true.
Yeah. Also, JSP said, it's unfortunate that Charlie Cox denied the rumors that he was in the film. He did, but that doesn't really confirm anything, because I think Tobey Maguire denied the rumors too, and guess what? He's in it.
Hey, guys.
You don't want
I know. Go ahead, Pharaoh.
Sorry. But yeah, if you announced, hey, if Tobey Maguire said, yeah, I'm in the movie, or if Amazing Spider-Man actor Andrew Garfield said, yeah, I'm in the movie, then we'd lose that surprise effect of, oh my God, all 3 of them are here. If going into it, it's like, oh, okay, we'll be waiting for that moment, which will be fun, but it loses that sense of surprise going into it.
Exactly.
And guys, I'm not going to say anything here on the stream, but I've read so many spoilers online that this trailer is kind of confirmed. I mean, yeah, just because they deny it. I mean, they have you've heard about the Marvel snipers, haha. If they say anything wrong, they'll get whacked. Yeah. That they won't just outright say it. Not only for maintain the surprise, but it's also a contractual thing too.
Yeah.
Anyway, we should get back to the trailer.
I forgot.
Be careful what you wish for, Parker.
And I think that was the original, the 2000s version of
Hello, Peter.
And now there's the part that everyone's hyped for.
I love this movie so much.
Okay.
I love that with the Sanctum Sanctorum, it always has a different thing going on with it. Like when Doctor Strange is like a normal building, every other time we see in the background, it's like shifted somewhere. In Doctor Strange, the rooms were always shifting around with him. In this one, it's snowing. That's so good because the Sanctum is always doing something weird.
Yeah. But I think I heard the voice of the actor who played Kirk Connors in the original, the original Spider-Man movies. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think
I didn't hear that one so much.
He's also.
Are we talking
movie,
about the Be Careful What You Wish For?
Voice. Yeah. Did that sound like him?
That just sounds to me like Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but it sounds like Doctor Strange to me.
Mm-hmm.
It might. But for me, it sounded a lot like Kurt from that, but I could be very much wrong. You guys could be 100% right. But at the same time, I still think this film is pretty much doing a connection between the Spider-Verse movies and maybe stuff like Venom, considering what Venom had on its after credit of in another universe. Because you don't just see movies every day showing a thing to an animated movie saying that in another universe. Or any other movie for that matter. Because unless it's building something up,
True, but I don't know MCU's strategy. They tend to have their movies linked together, and Venom can actually tie to Spider-Verse because those are Sony-related things specifically. That they can do whatever they want, essentially. Whatever Marvel does has to fit in their groove.
Exactly.
So I'm going to be a little bit cynical, and it's funny because I'm actually in Sony's corner when it comes to all this. I think they're just trying to, work. They're trying to adapt or cash in on that formula of having the after credit scene. They want that same Marvel success.
Yeah.
So I think that's what that's going to. But of course, that doesn't mean that they're not making plans behind the scenes for, something from the Spider-Verse to eventually cross over into the live action movies. They do have plans. We're just not quite sure what they are yet. And there's even talk that whether it's Holland's Spider-Man or whether it's Garfield or Maguire, that they might actually be put into the Venom movies based on this event. Either that or they already exist there. Because if you look at the Venom 2 trailer, whenever Eddie's looking at the screen for like the Daily Bugle, for the like their website and everything, the logo for the Daily Bugle is the same from the Raimi movies.
Isn't the Daily Bugle always like a bugle, essentially?
Well, I think there was a different logo in the Amazing Spider-Man movies, and
I don't remember it from there.
I'm not too sure. I can't remember. In the MCU, it's just like an InfoWars kind of show because that's what that version of Jameson. He seems to be an Alex. Oh crap! I forgot his name.
Alex Jones.
Alex Jones. There we go. Alex Jones. He's kind of a spoof of that. And also, it seems like he might be a hint. Again, this is a slight spoiler for Loki. They introduced the concept of variants from other universes. So he might be a J. Jonah Jameson variant from the MC universe, but there's also a version of him that looks exactly the same, but with more hair from like the Raimi movies. So I think that might be where they're going.
Yeah,
it could be.
I don't know. I don't have too many theories, really. I just kind of want to go into it because so many Spider-Man movies end up trying to do Sinister Six and then failing through it. I'm like, I just want to go into this one and enjoy it because the other two are fun, but I just want to enjoy this one. I want to see what they.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Pharaoh. Were you done? No, So here's my thoughts on it. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not really an MCU Spider-Man fan. I'm a Garfield guy. Throw your vegetables at me. I'm sorry, but it's either Toby or Andrew for me, and that's really what's kind of got me interested in this movie is seeing them again. But I also was kind of reflecting on it and thinking, by doing the Spider-Verse, it's kind of cool because now the entire Spider-Man franchise is kind of culminating in this one movie. So it's an 8-movie series. It's not just different iterations now. It all comes together in this one movie. And I actually kind of like that idea. Even if I have like my favorite pick for an actor, it's nice to see that they're acknowledging all the, like with the build-up for, they finally cracked the Sinister Six, it seems like, is they're not just setting them up in an individual universe. They're taking like 2 from or 3 because, Sandman, there's hints of Sandman in that trailer. They're doing 3 villains from the Raimi movies. They're doing Electro from the Amazing movies, maybe Lizard. And then we also don't know who the 6th member is. So that might be somebody from the MCU. I guess we'll see. But
a new villain that's just popping up in this movie.
Yeah, like there's talk about Ned Leeds being the Hobgoblin. That seems kind of out of thin air.
We could still get Mysterio somewhere because Mysterio's whole thing is, I'm going to trick you.
I would actually be... Yeah, go ahead.
Well, first thing I want to say is I agree with you, Trevor. I do like Tom Holland Spider-Man, don't get me wrong. But out of Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, the guy who played him in the 90s animated series, the guy who plays him in the video game, Shinji Takada from Toei Spider-Man, he's my least... Holland would be my least favorite. But I still think
he's a great actor. He's a great actor. Don't get me wrong. I like him in other things, but I just feel like he's too much in service to what the MCU needs him to be. And he could be heading towards being the Peter Parker we know from the comic books or from what the movies before got right. I don't know.
That's where I kind of kick in. That Tom Holland does Peter Parker Spider-Man better than the others, because Peter Parker is supposed to be a smart, nerdy, fairly awkward, always talking and always quipping character. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, in his fights, he rarely spoke. He didn't speak a lot. He didn't insult Goblin a lot. He was a good Peter Parker where he had that awkward thing down, but he didn't really act so much Spider-Man. He had the costume, but he didn't really act so much Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield had that more quipping, playful, I'm insulting you while fighting you type of thing, and constantly talking. But he didn't really feel like a Peter Parker. He spoke a lot. He definitely did a lot of things, but he didn't really feel like Peter Parker. He was more like hipster Peter Parker. Tom Holland kind of has that, I'm nerdy and awkward, I'm skinny, I'm small, people overlook me, while also talking constantly, where it's like, I'm not used to speaking up to anybody. So now that he's Spider-Man, he's talking constantly to everybody.
Yeah. Which, the when it comes to the Aunt Mays, I think, when it comes to Aunt Mays, I think the other Spider-Man would have the more accurate Aunt May, though I think we all can agree.
I agree with the one. Aunt May changes to every writer. Sometimes she's an old woman like Raimi. Sometimes she's a young, hot aunt like in the Ultimate Universe. Sometimes she's dead.
Yeah,
Aunt May is super inconsistent. Look at the Ultimate.
Go ahead.
Look at the cartoon series Ultimate Spider-Man. She was she was lifting weights, she was power walking, she was an active woman in the community. She was like, all right, Aunt May is like 40-some years old, and she's like bench pressing other people.
Oh, Galix said Galix wants a StreamYard links, so 1 minute, about to send him so he could join us. Okay.
I might switch out soon. My phone's at like 35%. I don't have much power left.
Yeah.
But I basically said my thoughts. So off chance I end up disconnecting, my phone is on its death's door.
Galix, check your messages. Just sent you the link.
Yeah, Pharaoh, that's actually why I'm trying to have my phone plugged into my laptop at the same time. Oh, there he went. Never mind.
Okay. Galix, yeah, he'll be back. Galix, you still watching? If so, check your messages on Facebook, Galix. I gave you the link. Come on, Galix. Okay, well, anyway, when it comes to this, I still would actually really like to see this. Like, it could be what you said, Trevor, that they're just trying to cash in on the after credit thing. But I still would like to think that maybe that this takes place like this is a way to possibly build up the next Spider-Verse film, which I'll be 100% honest. Just I don't want to give off the vibe that I'm this big Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse movie fan. I like the first Spider-Verse movie, but I didn't think it was
Spider-Verse movie right now.
Yeah, I didn't think Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was this masterpiece that everyone brought it out to be. I liked it, but a lot of the music, it didn't work and just was advertising garbage. And there was also some other issues I had with it. But overall, it was good. I'm excited for the next Spider-Verse movie, which I'm hoping this is a build-up to in some way. Like, maybe, just maybe. And
I feel like you're being really hopeful because those aren't really tied together, I thought.
Well, maybe a part of my hopefulness is I'll be 100% honest. If there turns out to be maybe a twist where Shinji Takuya, Toei Spider-Man shows up in this, I'm gonna get a fucking boner. Because
Japanese Spider-Man?
Yeah, because I love Toei. He's the only Spider-Man you're going to see pull out a gun and fire it. That's just excellent.
I mean, they pull it off. Color me very surprised. And I will say, like, my mistake, they pulled off Spider-Verse.
Yeah, like, I heard it's confirmed that Shinji Takuya is confirmed to be in the next Spider-Verse movie. And if they don't get Shinji Taro to reprise his role in that movie, I'm gonna flip the fuck out because Takuya is Shinji Taro's character. And if he would be in this movie, which don't get me wrong, I highly doubt he's in this movie. There's like a 2% chance he's in this movie. But still, if he would be, you know how excited I'd fucking be. Especially seeing him go against the fucking Green Goblin from Holland's movie. I mean,
Oh, no.
Holland, I mean,
You're
Maguire's
just going
movie.
in fan fiction territory. I think I might jump out if you're going to be doing that, all right? Because my
Yeah,
phone
Toku
it's
Villain
probably-
versus Toku Hero.
It's
That's-
probably just going to be the three main Spider-Man that the general audience knows from the movies, most likely. If they throw something else in there, it'll be great. But I think it's going to be, what you would expect.
I'm 97% sure you are correct there. We're not Japan, where like in Japan you have all these Kamen Rider movies and Ultraman movies where all of them are collaborating. But in America, you're unfortunately probably not going to get that, though you are getting Takuya in the second Spider-Verse movie, and I still hope they get Shinji Todo to reprise his role in that. But if he showed up in this movie, I'd be happy, but the chances of America doing that, I'm saying it's not going to happen, definitely is the likely scenario on that.
Yeah.
But it's already a miracle. But it's already a miracle he's going to be showing up in the next Spider-Verse movie.
But hey, don't get me
have fun going to that. I'm
No,
going to
go ahead,
jump out from here, all right? Just save power. So it was lovely meeting you, Trevor. Spacezilla,
Nice meeting you.
thanks for having me on again.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
Ta-la.
catch you later.
Okay. Were you about to say something, Trevor?
No, I was just going to say, I'm not trying to dismiss what the whole, Sony is definitely doing the after credits thing. And I'm not trying to just say that it's like them cashing in on the MCU. But we just really don't know how the Spider-Verse animated movies are going to factor into this. There's probably definitely going to be something related to Venom and Morbius. Everybody forgot about Morbius because it had its one trailer more than a year ago. Hopefully they'll release a new one here pretty soon. But they're definitely going to do because Tom Hardy says that he wants Spider-Man to be in the next Venom movie. He wants it to be Holland Spider-Man. I would prefer if it was one of the other two, but that's just me. But there's something going on. We just don't know exactly what it is yet because we haven't seen the movie. So.
Yeah, I think that's the case here. Like, I could be wrong, but I think that they've been building up to this one way or another with Venom having the after credit by putting in another universe, like the Spider-Verse in another universe, and then you get this. It definitely seems like something. It's a speculation. I'm like 50% sure on that. I don't want to go any higher than that and turn out to be wrong, but it is likely. Anyway, Trev, you got any other theories you'd like to discuss?
No, I think we just really hit the main ones. I mean, I mentioned the fact that the Doctor Strange stuff, for one thing, it's nice to finally see Doctor Strange and Spidey together because they have a lot of history in the comic books and also a little bit in the animated series. But yeah, I'm just glad that we're finally making that connection. I'm reconciling the fact that now all the movies matter. It's not, you don't just you can still pick your favorites, but they're all leading into this big event.
This
in
also
retrospect, it seems like.
This also means
ahead.
that to the Raimi trilogy and the Garfield movies are technically MCU movies now.
Yeah, and who knows? Yeah, there's rumors that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is going to have a supporting role in Multiverse of Madness. Whether that's true or not, we'll see. But it's directed by Sam Raimi. He would probably love that. We don't know if they're going to appear beyond this or not. That's the exciting thing. We don't know. We don't know what the setup is beyond this movie.
Yeah, which it could go anyway. Either way, I am freaking excited. I'm glad we're getting Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire back. Like, we didn't get a Spider-Man 4 for Raimi's movies. So for the Raimi movies, this is our Spider-Man 4. And we didn't get an Amazing Spider-Man 3 for the Andrew Garfield movies. This is your Amazing Spider-Man 3. And it's another MCU Holland film. So
Yeah, and on the Garfield note, they're delivering on the Sinister Six, which they teased at the end of his last movie. So it may not be the same one, but it's still a version of it.
exactly, and I'm sure all of us are excited for the fact that you're getting the William Dafoe's Green Goblin back, which we all fucking love that Goblin. It's my favorite iteration of the character. I don't care what anyone says. I love it. We got Doc Ock back, which is also my favorite iteration of the character. Well, him and the PS4 Doc Ock, both of them are very well-developed versions of the character. So
yeah.
I have two favorite versions of Doc Ock. And we're going to get some amazing Spider-Man villains. I'd like to see the Lizard, and I hope he is in this movie. Just like I hope Venom is in this movie. But either way, only time will tell when the release is shown.
And hey, unless it gets delayed, it's not that far away. So, the hype is real.
Yep. All we could do is streams like this where nerds like us sit down and talk about our speculations and hype for the movie.
Yeah, but just don't get disappointed if it doesn't pan out. That's the mistake that people make, is they speculate and they expect it to be the same as their speculation. And hey, it may not be that.
Exactly. Like, for example, you heard what I was saying about it'd be nice to see Takuya Toei Spider-Man, but I'm 99% sure he's not going to be in this movie. That's more of an idea of mine than a speculation, but he is going to be in the Spider-Man Verse 2 movie. Now, I would be disappointed if the Spider-Verse 2 movie I had, 1, him as a cameo, or 2, didn't get Shinji Taro back as a character. I'd be fucking pissed.
No, what would be great with Spider-Verse 2, because they've teased Toei Spider-Man, but they actually officially, like, as the after credit scene for Into the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man 2099. It would be great if it was him, if it was Toei Spider-Man. Have a new supporting team of Spider-Man that's different from the ones that were in the first one. That would be great.
Exactly. That would be amazing. But we'll see. Even people who aren't huge on the Holland, like even people who hate the Holland movies, are hyped for this. And I'm not one of the people who hate the Holland movies. I enjoy them, but he's me and you's least favorite out of the live action Spider-Man.
Yeah, and I don't hate those movies. They just don't scratch my Spider-Man itch, really. I'm glad we saw Vulture and Mysterio, even though they have a vendetta against Iron Man, whatever. But it is what it is. They have entertainment value.
Yep. Sosa Potent said, see Shang-Chi ASAP. Oh, believe me, I'm gonna have to see it next. I was planning to see it this month, but something going on in my personal life kind of prevented me from having to see it. I'm not gonna go into what it is, but I can't see it this month for that reason. But next month, I will see it, and we'll all do a discussion of it. And Trevor, would you be interested in joining for that?
Oh yeah, sure. I probably won't see it till it's on Disney Plus. That's just the way I want to. Probably how I'm going to end up seeing it. But yeah, I'm interested. I've heard lots of great things. It sounds like it's the true start of MCU Phase 4. So
yeah, it's actually one of the MCU movies I want to see in the theater. But when it comes to the MCU, when it comes to that movie, I love martial arts films, and when I saw the trailer to it in the theater, I was automatically interested in watching it. Mm-hmm. It looks very good.
From what I've heard, if you're a martial arts fan, it definitely delivers on that part of it. So, yeah.
Sosa said, sorry, bro, whatever it is, we would talk all about it. Of course, Sosa, no problem at all. We're still going to do a review of it next month, and I'm looking forward to it. Movie looks like a lot of fun, and I am a massive martial arts fan, so I'm excited to see it. When it comes to the MCU stuff, that is my second most hyped in recent years. This one, Spider-Man Far From Home, obviously being my most hyped one. I'm sure you can agree with me on that, Trevor. Anyway,
yeah, I just like seeing new characters. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. Anyway, that was it for this episode of Galactic Nerd Outpost. Thank you for joining me, Trevor Thomson. I forgot you rebranded yourself as Trev Tom. Thank you for joining me, Trev Tom. It was an honor having you. You were chill, brought some really good ideas to the table, and just was fun to talk to you during all of this. Honestly, when it comes to these live streams, they're the easy type of content to do. They don't really take much time to make, and they're kind of therapeutic because it's just a group of nerds discussing stuff we love, nerdy stuff. So it's a nice way to make me happy. But go in to subscribe to Trev Tom's channel. Link is in the description down below. And go and support me on social media. Even join my Discord server. All are in the description down below. Lots of good stuff going on there. This is Daikaiji Spacezilla, leaving the building.
And this was Trev Tom. I hope to do it again.